Welcome to the lab. This is the Big Scientist channel where we explore the why so you know how. Today, we're diving into the why behind quick bread. So if you want to know how to whip up this delicious sweet banana quick bread, stay tuned, make sure to subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all the delicious science. Now let's get into it. We're going to start by creaming our sugar and butter together. And if you've seen our caramel cake video, you will know the science behind the creaming and the reason why we cream butter and sugar together. But we'll go into a little bit more detail here. So the reason why you want to cream butter and sugar together when you're making any baked good that doesn't usually have uh, a biological leavening agent such as yeast such as when you're making breads is to add more air into your dough or your batter. And this is being done by the sugar poking little holes into the fat or the butter, and this allows air pockets to open up in your batter, and this will give you a lighter batter, lighter end product, more airier texture to your baked good. And for this banana bread, we're actually aerating this butter so that we can have some air pockets for not only our chemical leavening agent to fill with carbon dioxide, but also for the butter. When it bakes, the water in the butter will evaporate and create steam, and steam can actually also be used as a leavening agent. So these air pockets will help to give us more places for these things to gather and give us a more of a texture to our crumb when we get to the baking process. And this recipe also calls for sour cream, so I am adding some sour cream here, which will add to our fat, and it will also, it will also give us a little bit of acid, which will help with the leavening when we do add our chemical leavening agent. So you really want to whip this, the sugar, the sour cream, and the butter, so the fats and your sugar. You really want to whip this until you get a nice kind of airy texture. It's gonna be very smooth and a little bit more airy looking, and kind of almost, I would say, a little bit, get a little larger in volume. It's not gonna like double or triple volume, but you'll see it's a little bit more fluffy looking and a little bit lighter in color, and that's what we want to get. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for our sugar to create those whole pockets in the butters and the fat that we added in, so that we can really get that extra lift, help that we can for this, because like this is a quick bread, so we don't have any kind of yeast to help with our leavening, and there's not going to be a lot of gluten development in this dough, in this mixture either. So you just really want to work this for a few minutes until you really get that nice silky smooth, no grains of any sugar or anything left behind, no lumps, and a nice silky smooth thicker consistency that has been aerated. So we're just going to keep whipping that until we get to that consistency. I'll take a moment here to say, if you do like to learn the science behind your favorite baked goods and just understanding what's going on when you're baking and cooking and how everything's interacting, how all your ingredients are coming together to create these beautiful dishes, please go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date on all the science that's coming out of our kitchen. We are putting out videos every week, and if you really love the science, you'll really want to be on this journey with us, and we do love and enjoy this content, so please subscribe. So as you can see, we have a nice consistency to this whipped butter and sugar and fat. So now we can go ahead and move on to our next ingredients. And you can see it's thicker, it's aerated, and it's ready to give us a little bit of extra lift and a little bit of space for our steam and our carbon dioxide to fill in those pockets when we start baking. Now we're going to go ahead and add in our egg. And for these quick breads, an egg actually acts as an emulsifying agent. And if you've seen our peanut butter cookie video, you will know a little bit of the science behind the emulsifying properties of an egg. But we're also going to talk about it here. So the egg yolk actually contains proteins that are both hydrophilic and hydrophobic. Now hydrophilic means that the protein attracts water. Hydrophobic means that the protein repels water. And because both of these proteins live in the egg yolk, the egg is able to kind of create a cohesive batter. So it's able to hold the fats, which we've just creamed with our butter, with the water, which is found in the egg. The egg whites are 90% water. And so it's able to bring those two together to create a cohesive mix. Because if we didn't have something to emulsify our ingredients, they would separate like oil and water. We'd have our butters kind of floating on top of our water, or vice versa, and that's not what you want. You want your doughs and your batters to be cohesive, so you need an emulsifying agent, and that's what the egg is doing. So now I'm going to go ahead and add in the flour mix, which is our flour, our baking soda, our cinnamon, nutmeg, and salt. And for this quick bread, we're using baking soda as our leavening agent. And as I mentioned before, the leavening agent is what is providing the carbon dioxide. And for the baking soda, what it's going to be reacting with, because if you've seen our chocolate chip cookie video, you will know how baking soda reacts in the mixture so that it can create that carbon dioxide. And in this quick bread, it's actually going to be reacting with the acid from the brown sugar. Brown sugar has molasses in it, and the molasses actually contains vinegar. And so the vinegar from the molasses will be reacting with the baking soda, as well as some of the acid from the sour cream that we added. So we're getting the acid there, and that acid will be reacting with the sodium bicarbonate to create carbon dioxide. That carbon dioxide will be giving our bread a lift. That's the leavening of it. It's the rise. So that's where the rise is coming from, along with the air that we whipped in to the batter when we creamed the butter and the sugars. And so the air pockets that were formed from the whipping of the aerating the butter and the sugars, creaming the butter and sugar, is going to be filled with, the pockets will be filled with the carbon dioxide that's going to be produced by the soda or baking soda. Now we're going to go ahead and mash 2 ripe bananas, and you want your bananas to be really ripe. The riper the banana, the sweeter. So bananas, as they ripen, the sugars in them get more concentrated, and that's what we want for our quick bread. We want some nice sweet banana flavor, and so we're going to mash these 2 bananas up, and we are going to go ahead and add this into our batter, hence banana bread. The bananas will also add more moisture to the bread, and it'll actually keep the bread nice and moist longer as well. Because bananas have a lot of water and a lot of sugar, we're going to get that extra sugar from the banana, and then we're also going to get that extra moisture from the banana. Once the banana is sufficiently mashed, we can go ahead and add it to our batter. So you just want to kind of fold it in, just stir it up until it's nice and incorporated into your wet ingredient or your batter. So I'm just adding it here, and then we're just going to mix it up until the banana is incorporated into the batter. Now, I like to add chocolate chips to my banana bread, so I cut up a dark chocolate bar and I will be adding that also to my banana bread. So again, you just want to fold this in. You don't want to work the dough or the batter too much because we don't want to develop too much gluten. We don't want it to be tough, but we do want to make sure all the mix-ins are added in. And you can add anything. You don't have to add chocolate. You could add nuts, or you can just add the banana and that's it. Just have basic banana bread. However you want to do it is how it can come out. Like, quick breads are very versatile. You can add in really any ingredients that you want to the basic batter mixture. But once we've mixed in our banana and our mix-in, which I'm using chocolate, we can go ahead and spray our pan that we're going to bake it in and then pour it on in. And I'm using a loaf pan. This is a half recipe because I only had 2 ripe bananas. So for a full recipe, you would want to double what I've written here. So it doesn't fill the whole, it's not going to fill the entire pan like a full loaf, because again, this is a half recipe. And this would probably be better in either a smaller loaf pan or muffin tins. You can make banana bread muffins. But I didn't have muffin tins, and I also didn't have a smaller pan, so I just had to use this one. It did come out pretty good still, but again, if you want to use something smaller, go for it. If you want to double the recipe so that you have a full loaf size, then do that as well. You would just need 2 ripe bananas, or 4 ripe bananas, sorry, instead of 2. I only had 2 on hand, so that's why I halved the recipe. But you just want to add your batter to the loaf pan or your muffin tins, whatever you're using to bake your quick bread. And then we're going to go ahead and get this into a 350 degree oven, preheated 350 degree oven for about 20 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and put it in the oven, as I mentioned, preheated 350 degree oven for about 20 to 25 minutes, or until a toothpick comes out clean. So now that we're going to take it out the oven, and we're going to see what our final result looks like. So you do want to remove the bread from the pan so that it can cool completely and the bottom doesn't get soggy. So you want to remove it and set it on a wire rack so that it will cool completely before you cut it up and serve it. So here it is, the final result. Delicious, soft, moist, banana-y flavor, chocolatey in this case, banana bread, quick bread. If you love the science, learning the science behind this quick bread and how it works and what a quick bread is, please go ahead and subscribe to our channel and stay tuned for new and upcoming videos. Until next time, happy baking!